If someone were to murder Alex or murder me, they already murdered themselves in that action. They already bestowed the punishment upon themselves. We are simply completing the task. When you take another person's life, you already took your own life.
In this video, Kirk breaks down the difference between murder and killing, offering a clear perspective on what the law and morality says about self-defense and an advice on what you should do in your case. If you've ever wondered where the line is drawn, watch closely as this powerful segment unravels clarity to a complex issue.
I have concerns over things like the death penalty. It's one of the 10 Commandments. You should not murder. So is it somehow justified because they're such a horrible criminal, or are they eliminating or changing the trajectory of God's plan for what it was supposed to be because they murdered somebody and they didn't go when God was ready for them?
Great question. So I get this question a lot. So it does say do not murder. It does not say do not kill. So those are two different Hebrew words, right? So to murder is a completely different thing than to kill. For example, you're allowed to kill in self-defense. Somebody comes into your house, you are allowed to take that life if your life is being put into jeopardy. In fact, to go a step further, the reason why it made sense to ancient Israel, did you know that a life for a life, otherwise known as the death penalty, is the only law that is in all 5 books of the Torah? It's the only law. Not even the Sabbath is in all 5 books of the Torah. Now, the Sabbath exists in Genesis, but it's not in all 5 books. So this idea of taking a life if you take a life, what is it rooted in? Why does it matter? Well, first of all, God is communicating to us the first thing. Taking human life is a major deal. That's God's first moral teaching in the Torah, that it's not to be trivialized. Let me give you another example. There's a law of the 613 laws of Judaism, of which we are not bound to the ceremonial law, which is one of them, that if an animal takes a human life, you must kill that animal. Okay, so it's like, okay, that's like, why do that? Well, what are you going to like have, oh yeah, that's Lenny, he killed my uncle, and say hi. Like, you're going to keep that animal around? The only punishment imaginable for taking the thing that only we are made in the image of God. So if you take another image bearer's life, what could possibly be a just punishment for that? Well, according to the economy of God, it's that your life must also be taken. And according to scriptural theology, we are not taking that person's life. When you take another person's life, you already took your own life. That's right. I want you to think about that. If someone were to murder Alex or murder me, they already murdered themselves in that action. They already bestowed the punishment upon themselves. We are simply completing the task. And think about it. Some people will say, but Charlie, it's not fair because of whatever sob story liberal reason. How is it, and honestly, no, and I'll just close with it. I'll kind of finish with this. But you know who it's not fair to? It's not fair to the victims. You are cheapening the lives of the victims. You are basically saying the victims die and you get to live. So you get to continue to live even though you took the lives of others. So for example, I think it's fundamentally wrong that creep who killed those 4 college kids in Moscow, Iowa, that he gets to keep living. So he kills 4 college kids and he keeps on getting to have life, and those people don't. In order to say that those people's lives mattered, the only just thing that we can reason ourselves to is to take that person's life. And that is not murder, that is killing, and it's societal self-defense.